Opportunity meets preparation. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. The fact is, no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you practice, you will fail. You will fail. Which brings me to number 2. Don't practice. Don't ever practice. They say practice makes perfect, but let me tell you something. Practice ain't worth it. Let me tell you what practice is for. Practice is for all those sad, pathetic souls who try to distract themselves by trying to better themselves in hopes to achieve a dream that is never going to come true. It's sad. It's sad, really. It's kind of a disease, and there are many symptoms. These symptoms include things like spending all their time making music. They spend all their money and their resources to make better music. Having fucked up priorities like putting music before sleep, before food and eating, before bodily functions. I mean, fuck dude, everything. And God help their souls, working on their weaknesses. Okay, let me tell you something. If you have a weakness, that is the universe's way of telling you to not do that thing. Let me give you an example. Take John. John has a weakness. FYI, John has nothing to do with me. Just make that clear. John's weakness is caving to certain pressures when certain substances are offered to him. When they're offered to him. Since the universe does not want John to do that thing, I just say yes every time. And everything's fine. Okay. Just to clarify, when I say do not practice, I do include not learning new things, I include not watching stupid tutorials on YouTube, and I definitely include learning a musical instrument. Because let's be real, if you're a musical genius in this day and age, you can't play a fucking instrument. Some of you could argue that this is a tutorial. It's not. It's fucking not. It's not a tutorial. This is not a tutorial, and I do not tutorialate. I am not a tutorialator. That's a word, right? Plus, I'm pretty sure tutorialators are just enthusiasts who failed at doing the real thing, and that is absolutely not me. And you know why they failed? It's because they weren't born with it. See, number 1. So don't practice, ever. Practice a little bit, but only do it to remind yourself how fucking phenomenally fantastic you are. The 3 Fs. Because you are. You're real good. You're really good, man. So with all that practicing you're not doing, gives you time to focus on real matters. Which brings me to number 3. And that is to talk the talk. Talking the talk is incredibly important because it basically just means you telling people how amazingly gifted you are. Because people need to know. How else do you think you're gonna get famous? Some critics out there might say that it's more important to walk the walk before you talk the talk. Wrong, wrong, wrong. I cannot tell you how incredibly wrong that is. Let me give you an example. Birds. Birds can fly. And a bird flying is basically a bird's way of walking the walk. And birds flying are fucking phenomenally fantastic. And do people care that birds can fly? No. No. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. Absolutely not. However, let's say a bird told you that it was going to fly. You know what would happen? Let me tell you what would happen. You're gonna pay attention to that fucking bird because it just talked the talk. You follow that logic? That logic is sound. That logic is music. Fucking genius. The best place to talk the talk is probably at a bar or club of some sort where the majority of people there are drunk. The reason behind that being that if people are drunk, they are much more likely to believe what you tell them. Not that you're lying, of course, but we don't want people being skeptical of you either. So after you tell everybody that you're basically a genius, you can then start making snide remarks about what the band is doing or what the DJ is playing. Examples of these include, this beat is basic. This song is nothing without sidechain compression. This beat is basic. God, do you hear how muddy that low end is? Fucking gonna break my ears. Basic. Beat, basic. Whoever made this beat is basically just copying DJ Mustard, which basically means they're trying to be a product of West Coast hip hop, which basically means they're just a product of Dr. Dre, which basically means they're all just copying Kanye West. I don't know. I don't know how that's true, but it somehow is. Kanye was probably waiting for that recognition. You're welcome, Kanye. While making these comments, you can start saying what you would have done if you were the producer and just point out every possible mistake you can. Nothing makes you sound more superior than when you're pointing out the faults of others. Oh, and don't forget to tell people about that project you've been working on, how it's going to change the world, and not how it's fucking phenomenally fantastic. Doing this will create hype and make people believe that you are just so destined for stardom. Soon, this will attract other producers, songwriters, rappers, musicians, and that leads me to number 4. Say yes to everything and everybody, but never come through. Now, why would you do that? I will answer this question with another question. Would you let a parasite engorge itself on the blood, on the body of work that is your musical brilliance? I don't think you would. I don't think you would. No one wants that. But that is exactly what these sad sucker wannabes will do if you let them. Okay, so let's face it. There is nothing that they can do or add to a product of yours that will make it better. Let me tell you something. You don't fix what's not broken. And as far as I'm concerned, a musical genius ain't broken. It's like trying to change the menu at In-N-Out Burger. It's like trying to remaster the original Star Wars film. Han shot first. I swear to God, it's like mixing with. That's actually a good idea. Shit, I gotta fucking write this down. What, you think I'm gonna tell you? Okay, number 4.5. A true genius never shares his secrets until he can capitalize on them. Remember that, fuckers. So, we obviously know that we cannot work with other people. But if that were the case, then why would we say yes? We do this to instill a mindset that I like to call you never know. You never know just so happens to be the same dynamic found in the phenomenon known as the friend zone. Let me explain, let me elaborate, let me tell you. Guy has a female friend he's wanted to smash since he found out she existed. Girl friend zoned him faster than light traveling through a vacuum. Despite both parties having completely different intended purposes for the other, they will continue to interact for months to even years. Even when both parties often know what the other's intentions are to begin with. So one might ask, why does this happen? The answer is quite simple. Guy will always be willing to interact with girl in hopes that he can one day seduce and romance said girl. Girl will always be willing to interact with guy because friends are fun and a great support system. You never know when you might need a friend. So why do guy and girl continue to interact? Because you never know. This, my fellow geniuses, is the dynamic that we need to harness and exploit to the environment around us. We want them to think that we are their friend. We want them to think that we could help them. We want them to think that they could work with us. But the truth is they can't, and they never could, and there's nothing we can do about that except for use them like the tools and resources they are. Plus, who knows, they might be Beyonce's cousin. Or they play poker with Jimmy Iovine. Who knows? We don't know. You never know. This will get people excited with the idea of possibly working with you, putting positive hype to your name. And of course, you need someone shitty to open for you, right? Am I right? This should go without saying, but just in case you cannot connect the dots, I can do it for you, because I'm such a good guy. Step number 4 needs to be handled with the utmost sensitivity. The last thing you want is one of these hopeless souls to discover you think that they're a hopeless soul and get mad. And boy, do they get mad. Plus, if you're not slick with how you dodge their attempts to collaborate, they will call you a flake, they will call you a fake, and they will become, worst of all, your critic. A wise man once said, you're only as good as your worst critic. I think Beethoven said that. So please, be careful out there. And at last, we're at number 5. Alright everybody, it's time to get serious. This really is the number 1 most important thing that I can tell you. To become the godlike enigma that is the world famous record producer. I honestly can't believe I'm gonna say this. I don't think you understand. For me to share this information, I could very well be giving myself first class ticket to hell. At the same time, I could be sending myself to heaven. It could go both ways. The knowledge really is that powerful. I just don't know what forces are at hand. Alright, I'll stop building it up. The number 1, most important, most valuable piece of information that I can give you is...
That's Dre. That's Dre.
Please excuse me for one moment.
There's no problem.
What do you want?
You finish the beat, you have to produce the record. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a big...
Figure it out yourself.
Whatever.
I swear to fucking God.
Get pissed off if you want to. Whatever.
Please excuse me. My apologies. That was Dr. Dre. He's trying to get me to figure out a bass line for him or some shit. I don't fucking have the time. I don't have the time. I told him I'm fucking busy here. I'm fucking doing my shit. I swear to God, he uses me like a crutch, like a fucking set of training wheels. It's time to remove the training wheels, Dr. Dre. I fucking had it.
Whatever.
You remove them, move on. I'm gonna lose my mind. I swear to God, the man better sign me. Deep breath. It's okay. It's okay. Alright, so where was I? Okay. I'll stop building it up. The number 1 most important, most valuable thing that I can tell you, the most secret step for you to fulfill every part of your dream is to There ain't no number 5. Number 5 is to go fucking figure it out yourself. Now get your lazy ass off the computer and go change the fucking world. Peace! Hello everybody, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit like and subscribe because that really is what a true world famous record producer would do. Future world records. Alright, peace.